In a quiet corner of numismatic history, where myths often travel faster than facts and where a single small piece of metal can change a person's life forever, there exists a story that collectors still whisper about. It begins with something that looks ordinary at first glance, something most people would never look at twice, something that might even pass through a hand without a second thought. But within that simplicity lies a story of rarity, a mystery, and a level of demand that has pushed ordinary coins into the realm of legend. This is the story of a 1974 half-cent style era strike that was reportedly discovered with unusual southern mint characteristics, a coin that has been discussed in collector circles for its strange combination of features that do not match standard production records. To understand why this coin matters, you have to step into the world of minting eras, where perfection is expected but imperfection creates value. In normal minting processes, every coin follows a strict system. Blanks are prepared, designs are struck under heavy pressure, and quality control systems attempt to remove anything that does not meet exact standards. Yet history has shown that no system is perfect. Occasionally, something slips through. A misalignment happens. A die is reused incorrectly. A planchet is struck under unusual conditions. These small deviations create coins that are not supposed to exist. The 1974 half-cent style era piece is described by collectors as one of those mysterious anomalies. While official records do not recognize a standard half-cent issue for that year in modern circulation sets, stories have circulated about experimental strikes and prototype-style impressions that were never meant to leave the minting facility. Some versions of the story suggest that this piece originated from a southern minting facility trial run, where experimental dies were tested under non-standard conditions. Others believe it was simply an accidental combination of leftover dies and incorrect planchets, creating a one-of-a-kind strike that escaped into the world unnoticed. What makes this coin especially fascinating is not just its rarity but the combination of visual characteristics attributed to it. Collectors describe a softened edge profile, a slightly off-center strike, and faint doubling on certain design elements. The surface is said to carry a unique luster that differs from standard circulation strikes of the same era. Under magnification, certain markings appear inconsistent with normal die production, suggesting either experimental engraving or post-strike modification at the mint level. For years, such coins were dismissed as myths or misidentified damage. Many people assumed that stories of a 1974 Southern strike half-cent were exaggerated tales passed around by enthusiastic collectors trying to find value in ordinary eras. However, as grading technology improved and high-resolution imaging became more common in numismatics, some experts began to take a closer look at similar specimens appearing in private collections. A few of these coins showed characteristics that could not be easily explained by post-mint damage. The metal composition in some cases appeared consistent with official mint alloy standards of the period, yet the strike patterns suggested non-standard die usage. This contradiction fueled even more speculation. Was this an undocumented experimental run? Was it a transitional mint era? Or was it something even rarer, a true one-of-one strike that represents a forgotten moment in minting history? Collectors often say that coins like this do not derive their value from what they are made of, but from the uncertainty surrounding them. The more questions a coin raises, the more desirable it becomes. In the case of this 1974 half-cent style anomaly, the mystery itself has become the foundation of its reputation. As the story spread through collector communities, a demand for any coin resembling the description began to increase. Even pieces with partial similarities started attracting attention. Auction houses began receiving inquiries. Private collectors started re-examining old collections stored away in vaults and safety deposit boxes. In many cases, coins that were previously labeled as damaged or unimportant were brought back into discussion for re-evaluation. One of the most discussed aspects of this coin is its supposed origin in a southern minting facility context. While official documentation does not confirm such a strike, numismatists often refer to southern script characteristics when describing irregular font spacing, deeper than usual engraving pressure, and slightly altered die alignment patterns that differ from standard northern mint outputs of the same era. Whether this terminology is officially accurate or simply collector-created language, it has become part of the legend surrounding this coin. The fascination also comes from timing. The year 1974 was a period of transition in many minting operations, with evolving technologies and changing production standards. Transitional periods are often where the most interesting mint eras occur, because systems are adapting, new machinery is being introduced, and human oversight can vary during implementation. It is within these transitional gaps that numismatic anomalies are born. Imagine holding a coin that may represent a mistake, an experiment, or a forgotten prototype. The weight is the same as any other coin, but the meaning is entirely different. To an ordinary observer, it is just metal. To a collector, it is possibility. That possibility is what drives value far beyond face value, far beyond metal content, and far beyond simple historical curiosity. Over time, stories about this coin have grown more dramatic. Some claim only a handful exist. Others suggest only one genuine specimen has ever been verified in private hands. There are even claims that certain examples were unknowingly spent back into circulation decades ago, lost forever among billions of ordinary coins. While none of these claims can be definitively proven, they contribute to the aura that surrounds the piece. Experts in grading and authentication emphasize caution. In the world of rare coins, the extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Many coins are misrepresented, either unintentionally due to misidentification or intentionally due to fabrication. Because of this, any specimen matching the description of a 1974 half-cent style Southern Mint anomaly must undergo rigorous testing, including metallurgical analysis, die comparison studies, and high-resolution imaging under controlled lighting conditions. Yet even with skepticism, interest continues to grow. That is the nature of numismatics. Every generation discovers new mysteries in old metal. Every collection hides potential surprises. And every so often, something surfaces that challenges what experts thought they knew. The emotional appeal of this coin also plays a major role in its fascination. Collectors are not only investing in objects, they are investing in stories. A coin like this represents the idea that value can appear unexpectedly, that history can hide in plain sight, and that something overlooked for decades can suddenly become the center of global attention. As the narrative continues to circulate, more enthusiasts are encouraged to examine their own collections carefully. Coins that were once dismissed as errors are now being re-evaluated with fresh eyes. This renewed interest has sparked a wave of activity in online forums, collector groups, and appraisal circles. In the end, whether or not every detail of this story can be independently verified, the impact it has had on collector imagination is undeniable. It represents the intersection of mystery, rarity, and possibility. And in the world of rare coins, that intersection is where legends are born. If a genuine specimen of this 1974 half-cent style Southern Mint anomaly were ever conclusively authenticated and brought to market, it would not simply be another collectible. It will become a landmark event in numismatic history, potentially setting new records and redefining expectations for era coins and experimental strikes. And in the imagination of collectors worldwide, its estimated value continues to climb, reaching figures that reflect not just rarity, but legend status itself, with projections and discussions often placing it at $1.5 million in the last of script.